So, Justin, what exactly do you do here in your job description? What exactly do you do all day?
Oh, man.
Now it's time for the panel. Tune it in, don't you change the channel. It's the panel, it's the vibe. Justin and Brian keeping it alive.
Welcome to the panel, where two bootstrappers talk about building a better business and a better life. I'm Justin Jackson, co-founder of Transistor.fm.
And I'm Brian Castle. I'm building Builder Methods, and I think I think this is day one of a new cold for me.
Oh, you know what? I'm suffering from something. I can't tell. It's like in my sinuses, but I get really bad allergies. So, yeah, my sleep score has been not great.
Yeah. My wife has had it, and I think one of my kids had it, so now it's my turn.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's going on? What are you thinking about? We have a few ideas here in chat. You had one about distinct phases of startup in year one.
Okay. So I guess just like before we get into it all, a couple, like a little agenda for today. We don't know what we'll actually have time for and stuff, but
yeah.
Like in terms of like business talk, like the thing on my mind right now is like distinct phases of a startup, especially during year one. The first, like, and I really think of it in like, we'll get into it, but I think of it in like very distinct, like, okay, now I'm turning a corner, and this has different implications, different mindset, different activities and stuff.
Okay.
And then
on my side,
then, you know, just like in general, like the other topic, I don't know when we can get to it, is like, obviously I'm fascinated with AI in general, not just on like the development side and building stuff, but like in the world. I'm like I can't stop consuming content about like news items and like the big companies and the positioning of OpenAI and Claude. And I listened to another episode of Cheeky Pint. I went back to the one where he interviewed Dario Amodei, CEO of Anthropic.
Yeah,
and really, really great episode. And then, so it to me, what's really interesting in that whole world we can get into is like the pretty big differences in my view between how OpenAI is establishing themselves and how Anthropic and Claude are establishing themselves.
Yeah.
And sort of like where we think the big players are. And I guess the question that is on my mind that we could talk about is like, which one do we personally feel a little bit more loyal to? You know, like many years ago, I sort of became a Mac person, and now I have an iPhone and a Mac and an Apple Watch and AirPods. And like, am I going to be an OpenAI person? Am I going to be an Anthropic person? Are we both? How do you think about that? Yeah. Anyway, so what else do you got?
I've been wanting to experiment with building a marketing site with V0, and I had a kind of I'm helping a guy out, and I was able to test that experiment out. So I've got some pros and cons of building a marketing site with Vercel's V0.
Interesting.
I think about this blog post all the time. Derek Sivers has this blog post about singing the counter melody, and I've just been thinking about that in all sorts of phases of business and marketing. When everybody is kind of playing one melody, sometimes that's an opportunity to play the counter melody, to do the opposite thing. So I've been thinking about that.
I like that. That actually, another thing I listened to earlier today was, we can get into it when we get up to that, but like, who's the author of The Big Short and Moneyball? Michael Lewis.
Michael Lewis, yeah.
And he was talking about like can AI replace someone like him, like a big time author? And interesting answer to that.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into it, man. What's your first topic? What are you thinking there?
So I think that, like with Builder Methods, I'm still well within year one of this new business. And I really think of it in like very distinct phases. Each phase has different lengths of time, usually several months each. And there was the first phase, which was like, should I even start this business? What business am I going to start? Is this the right direction for me. And so that first phase is like 1,000 different questions, so much uncertainty, nothing even exists yet. I might not even do this. Maybe I'll do something completely different. I'm probably weighing 2, 3, 4 different ideas for what I'm going to sink myself into. Then I start to like play around with, okay, I think a creator style business that speaks to builders who are building with AI and getting up to speed and, you know, building around a YouTube channel into a membership. I think I like this direction. And then I have 100 more questions about like, all right, how do I dial this in? What do I call it? What's the funnel going to look like? What can I charge for this? What should the shape of the product be? So all those questions are floating in the air. That's like phase 1. I don't know what we call that. Maybe we call it like the uncertainty phase.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of is that hill chart that 37 Signals often talks about. Like that metaphor, I think, is so like the first phase, if you can imagine like going up a hill, that's the figuring out phase.
Totally.
And then you get to the top of the hill, and then as you go down the other side, that's the making it happen phase, right?
Yes. And like, I'm not as good as you with like speaking while like drawing pictures, but the picture in my mind is something like that hill chart. Plus, it's like 2 charts overlaid on top of each other. One is like sort of like the activities, one is like the stress level.
Okay.
Or like how calm I feel or how secure I feel in the business, right?
Does it also go up and down like a hill chart? Like it's like the same.
Let's see. So I guess in the first phase, in that like uncertainty phase, it's like, I guess well, first of all, like the 2 lines, like the 2 charts would be like, maybe like busyness factor. Mm-hmm. Like how much hustle is required to do this right now? How busy am I in the day?
Yeah.
And then the other one is like stress level or like, you know, feeling of security or.
Yeah, they're probably pretty similar. Like as you're ramping up a new project, it's like your busyness and your stress.
Actually, I think in that very first phase, it doesn't actually take a lot of time. It's really just more questions and thinking, and you know, like I'm probably doing other stuff to make money and whatnot, but like it's the actual business hasn't really started yet. This is like pre-game, right? It's like just so there's still like a high level of stress, I would say, because it's like I don't know what I'm doing with my life, right?
Yeah.
But the actual output and the activity, I'm not really hustling quite yet. This is still pre-game.
Yeah.
So I would
Just
say
figuring things out.
Yeah, so I would say it's like high stress, probably low-ish activity.
Then
You get into like the second phase, which is I would say building.
Yeah.
Like starting to build, and this is pre-revenue, so you haven't made $1 yet.
Yeah.
So I guess in my case, just to paint a picture for Builder Methods, that first phase, uncertainty was probably, if I start from the time that I started zeroing in on what Builder Methods became, it's probably like 3 or 4 months of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that, 2, 3 months.
Yeah.
Then I would say there's like another 2 or 3 month period of like building with no revenue whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, that looked like doing a lot of YouTube videos, making the website for Builder Methods, starting to do like weekly newsletters, learning a lot more about building with AI, and I guess like tinkering with what would be a product, but I haven't sold anything yet.
Yeah.
So this is when that activity starts to go up. Like the hours, I'm starting to hustle. I'm working on weekends. I'm getting excited about what I'm building.
Yeah.
But also the stress is sort of high because it's like I'm working a lot for $0. You know.
Yeah.
So there's that phase. Okay. So then we get into a third phase, and what should I call this? This is sort of like it's like a chaos. It's you've started making money. You've started selling something.
Yeah.
You have the first dollars in the door. This is like a chaos phase. Okay, so this is like what defines this phase, and I think for me it was probably another 6 weeks or so. Is you've started selling some sort of product, maybe a little bit of pre-sales. You started getting customers. You're out in the market. You have traffic. You're getting exposure. You're getting leads. You're selling things, but you haven't even come close to fulfilling the product yet. Mm-hmm. Like it's everything on the site says coming soon.
Yeah.
People are getting like discounted pricing, but they are paying something.
Yeah.
But this phase is also defined by a lot of inbound messages, like people saying like, when is this going to be ready? When is that going to be ready? I know you keep saying that's coming soon, or will it do this, or will you offer that? And so there's this like, now this phase like introduces a new element of like an external pressure. And people are usually like very understanding of like, okay, this is a startup, he's hustling, like, but a lot of it is like self-inflicted. Like I feel the pressure because I know that there are people who have already expressed interest in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Some of them have even paid as the earliest paying customers. So that adds another level of stress and pressure to actually deliver on the promise, because now I'm actually holding like dollars in my bank account.
Yeah. And that phase is tough because you're also still there's no proof yet, like total proof that this is even a good business. Like you're still like holding all of this uncertainty.
Totally uncertain. Like you're starting to see good signs. Like people have actually taken out their credit card for something that you're offering. But that to me is not validation. That's like a good sign.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so again, like now it's like very high activity. I'm still hustling, still working nights and weekends, late nights, all day, building stuff. What's really hard about this is that you're still so early that you can't just build the product that people are buying. You also still need to do the early marketing stuff. Like for me, that's like YouTube videos, email newsletters, this podcast, like just doing stuff that like, I know I have an incredibly long to-do list of things that I have to build and ship.
Yeah.
But I can't go do it in a cave. Like now is the time to keep that buzz going, right?
Yeah.
So like that's literally like at least 50% of my hours just go to like content and marketing. And then like 50% is like, and now I have like a loud inbox. Whereas the phase earlier, it's like, I'm busy, I'm building stuff, but it's still quiet around here. Nobody's actually knocking on my door. Now I have inbound messages adding pressure, and I have to like put stuff out to the world, and I have to start building the thing,
It's like there's multiple hill charts. It's because even like sometimes you figure something out and you're like, okay, I've got like, the uncertainty. It's like there's uncertainty around, I don't know, like, can I and should I run a Discord as a part of this community? Like that's uncertain. And then you kind of push the ball up the hill, and then you're like, okay, now I know that part. But with marketing and making the product in the early stages, it's like you go through multiple phases of uncertainty and certainty all the time. Like it's still, on one hand, is there enough like marketing interest and market demand out there for the direction I'm going? And you're still trying to figure that out. And then on the product side, is this what people want? Will they pay me consistently? Is there enough revenue here?
And also, like, does this have legs a year from now?
Yeah.
Like, is this just a thing that's like hot right now, but is this actually going to stick around for a year? Like, is the market still going to demand this going forward? Am I going to continue to deliver on it? A lot of those questions.
Yeah.
The other thing that happens in that phase where it's like, I haven't fully delivered on the promise. There's a lot of coming soon labels on the website. Like this started happening to me in the last 2 weeks or so. Is like the first phase of like the first batch of customers in Builder Methods, they were sort of like well aware of this is totally new. We're like the earliest members. Of course, there's not a lot of content here yet. But as you get into like 4, 5, 6 weeks into that phase, now I'm attracting totally new people through YouTube who have no idea about the backstory of builder methods.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my website has a couple tiny things that say coming soon, and we're still in like the early phases of this, but like a lot of people just skim over that. And I literally got messages from new paying customers saying like, what did I just buy here? There's no content. Like, and like there's no, like there was no library. There was no, like you log in and everything says coming soon. And so I did start to like create private video content for the members in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I still haven't yet created. I did now, but like up until last week, I did not have like the library video, like the video library section on the website. The only way the members were getting it was I was dropping Loom links into the Discord.
Yeah.
Just to like get it out there, just for people to chew on while I continue to build, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, like now this past week, I finally shipped the actual searchable like video library.
I saw this. Yeah.
So video library is up on the website. I now have 4 member only videos, like totaling over 3 hours of footage, plus the YouTube videos are up there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. To me, it felt like all of a sudden we got a big drop of like, what is this?
Yeah, because I think in the week leading up to this, like I felt a lot of pressure to like finally deliver on like put the infrastructure of the business actually in place. So I got the video library up there. There's also the members directory.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Now members can like create their profile. It's got this cool thing where you can like list your experience and rate yourself. Like I'm a Tailwind expert, I'm a Rails expert, or whatever. You could add your interests, and then you can filter and find other members who match your interests, or find people with certain expertise.
I thought that was really slick. I went through that process, and I built something similar for Meeps and the Mega Maker community. But
Nice.
The way that you did it was cool. Like, yeah, there's this little experience thing here. I should actually put less experience for Ruby on Rails, and then interests, contact info, social media. Like, yeah, it's sweet. Like, got all.
And then
this...
like the other thing, existing members probably didn't see this, but new members now have like an onboarding flow.
Oh,
so
cool.
So like along with it, because like the member profile, it's not activated by default. You have to sort of like opt into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I now, like new members who purchase today, they're going to see a welcome page. First of all, it's like a new survey, like, hey, why did you join Builder Methods Pro? I like to collect that information, and then the next page in onboarding is like, hey, activate your member profile. Let's just get that situated, and then like third, like head into the area.
Yeah, this feels great, dude. Like, this feels, in terms of like how you've built it and how simple it is, it just feels really well done. This whole setup.
Yeah, I it's nice owning the whole app. Like, it's my own Rails app, so I can design it however I want. And I'm building with a lot with AI. So like each of those features only took me like a day. It's just like I finally got around to doing it.
Yeah.
And so now with the launch of those, and I sent a big email blast to all the members, and wow, I feel old saying email blast, but anyway. So anyway, now I feel like that marks the beginning of this next phase, the next, and what this is like, okay, I can start to breathe a little bit. The stress, the level comes down a little bit. If it was high before, now it's like mid-level.
Yeah.
And so, also like the hours in the day now can start to calm down. I still have a lot of work to do, but the nice thing now is that like I don't have that feeling of like being behind.
Yeah.
Or trying to play catch up. So like all these people bought this thing, there's literally nothing there yet. I'm playing catch up. But now it's like people who are buying and coming in today, it's like they see something. They see a few hours of private content. They see a video library that they could search. They see a members directory. They can join our Discord. And so now my job becomes just like get into the normal routine of this business, which is YouTube video every week, private content as I build my own tools and document that, and engage in the Discord, and just get into the rhythm of that. And so like literally this week, I started to feel like I started to work less hours this week. You know, like I can
Nice.
feel like, okay, I'm settling into what my routine is going to be, you know?
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, it's still like now it's also like a pressure of like, okay, now what's next? What's sort of interesting is that this is such a different type of business from all my previous ones, in that like this is a content creator business, but it's also in a space that is changing so insanely fast.
Yeah.
And right now I'm grappling with that big time, like about like literally what's my workshop going to be about in November.
Yeah. Do you feel
what
a
are my
lot of
next 4
pressure to
YouTube
make
videos?
like content now? Is that the...
Well, I always have the pressure to keep the schedule up, but now it's also it's just I need to like start to adopt a slightly different mindset with this, and that is like this, like that's part of the deal with this space of building with AI, is that it's going to change a lot really quickly. So like this week, Cursor 2.0 just came out.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty big update. Like they literally launched their own model. There's Cursor 2.0. There's Claude Code web version. These things are going in a very agentic like delegate to agents, have them build stuff in the background.
Yeah.
And so that's like a sort of a new paradigm that's really starting to become the norm. And it's like in the last couple of months, the idea of spec-driven development, which Agent OS is heavily built around, I think that has a lot of value still, but I could also see that like things are shifting again. Like maybe the idea of spending a lot of time and a lot of tokens up front on writing specs is not as relevant as it was literally 3 or 4 months ago.
Really?
Because the tools and the models are getting so good now.
Okay.
You know,
like you don't need as many specs, maybe.
Yeah, and like I still think there's a place for it, especially for large builds, and also for teams and organizations who need more process and more standardization. But I think for a lot of us, like folks like us, sort of like building new products and MVPs. I don't mean like vibe coded slop, but moving faster than a 500 person team would move, right?
Yeah.
Like we can move really fast now with the current tools, and especially Cursor 2.0. I'm really impressed. I'm just playing with it today. And the other thing is that these tools like Cursor and Claude, they both have like plan mode, and that can be a version of specs. Like and the LLMs themselves are much better. Now you can like literally spin up like 3 or 4 agents to build the same thing and pit them against each other. Like you can do things like that you literally couldn't really do 6 or 7 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, this to me, this is the advantage of you building a community, though, because now it feels like you have the ability to move fast and respond. Like you could post a video today saying, and maybe you already have, I don't know, but you could say, hey, I've just looked at Cursor 2.0 and here's a bunch of thoughts that I think the Builder Methods community needs to know about. And honestly, if you're just getting started now, here's how I would do it. I would go into plan mode. I'd do this, this, and this. And, you know, you don't actually have to do as much heavy lifting anymore. So to be able to get that quick feedback, that's even better to me, like in a community format. And you'd think that the other members are also sharing real-time information with each other. So it doesn't have to all rely on you.
Yeah,
I think the value of your community that you're building is going to be the big thing. Like, I think the content will be a part of it, but I think your ability to respond really quickly is going to be
I think you're right about
really
that.
big.
Like, I think you're totally right. Like that, there's a couple different mindset shifts that I have to get more comfortable with, which is like, like one of them is I started inviting a couple people onto a new like YouTube show podcast that I want to start, like through like probably going to call it the Builder Method Show.
Okay.
Which is like interviewing guests to just share your screen, show me your workflow, show me your tools. What are you using today? And I expect every episode to be completely different because everybody is doing things differently right now.
Yeah.
So I have the next 4 weeks booked out with guests.
Nice.
And so those will start to those will be like additional YouTube content, probably starting to drop in December. And so like that'll be one angle where it's like I want to learn and see what all these different people are doing, and try to get the best ideas in terms of like workflows, and then curate those and share with the community, and also see what's sort of like working for me. The other thing is like, again, like maybe the last 4 or 5 months, the big thing was spec-driven development. Maybe the next 3-4 months is going to be this like move toward agentic coding, agentic development.
Yeah.
Probably 3-4 months after that, there's going to be a totally new thing, and the tools are going to look much different than they do even today.
Yeah.
So like this idea that like it's just going to keep changing. Like that is the thing that really all professionals in our industry need to start to grapple with. But it's like, but most people are going to continuously be behind. That's the big pain point that a business like mine right now speaks to. But it's like sort of my job to stay ahead of it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is going to be behind it. Like that's normal.
Yeah.
But like I'm here to try to stay ahead of it. So like even if like my website is promoting this thing, Agent OS, like I'm already sort of thinking about the next thing.
Yeah. And again, you can see the potential here for like your weekly emails to either the big list or the Builder Method list. Like, hey friends, I know you're all struggling to stay afloat. Here's 3 things you need to know about this week when it comes to AI and building. Number 1, Cursor 2.0 is out. If you've been looking for an entry point, this is your best entry point. I made a quick video here. And you can just see if people are going to feel behind, that this is exactly like people hire other people to solve their problems. People hire products to solve their problems. It's like, what am I hiring Brian for? He's my buddy that goes out ahead and he chops down all the tall grass, and then he comes back and he shows me the way through the maze. Like that's the product, and I can see that being very valuable.
Like literally today, I spent all of today up until now like playing with Cursor 2.0, just like throwing up like practice projects just to play around with it, and then like between that and then like building some real new tools as like small projects that create teachable content.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to be doing every day anyway. So, that's sort of the thing. Like, I guess the one like mindset thing that I want to take away from that is that like in all my previous businesses, it always started with one big product. And then the whole business for years after that was defined by that product.
Yeah.
And it's like once you establish what that product is, you can't just change the product every 4 months.
Yeah.
You know? And like Builder Methods in general, like the big umbrella is like it's about building with AI. It's about staying ahead of the curve. But the reality is like every quarter, every season, the workflow, the content, the teaching, the focus is going to change. And so like if all my SaaS businesses, it always started with like a product, and then it's like you're hammering like the product, in these cases, and the job to be done.
Yeah.
Even back in the day when I did the productized course, day one, it was like productized services. You know, hire a team, sell it as if it's a product, but it's really services, build processes. That's the message, and I'm going to keep preaching that for 5 years straight, you know, to sell that product.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing it feels like you could help people with, this just came into my head, is that like if the way things are going, if the direction things are shifting is that every product is going to be like this. It's going to be this organic thing that gets updated and shifts shape way more frequently than before. Whether it's a SaaS business or something like Builder Methods, you're going to be able to be like kind of, again, a trailblazer, as Emmett says in chat here, a trailblazer in terms of this new paradigm for building products, which is in the old days, you built the product and then you could kind of like sit back. But now, no, things are shifting. Things are always like every day organically. Your product is way more of a natural ecosystem that's shifting rapidly. Like it's going to be adapting and shifting way more than it used to. And I've been building this thing called Builder Methods, and I will just show you, here's how it had to morph this way, and then it had to morph this way. Yeah. I think that's going to be an interesting discussion.
I mean, I'm always really fascinated with the content that I am talking about. Like right now, just today and yesterday, I started to key into this new way to think about the early design phase. Like, really the whole focus of Builder Methods is like picking apart our development workflow, how we take product concepts, build them, and ship them. Yeah. And taking that apart and redefining what that means in our AI age. And that redefinition happens every 3-4 months now.
Yeah.
And one of the really interesting things I've had my eye on, like, how do we rethink the design phase? Like, that's the part that I haven't really figured out. Like, it still feels way too manual to, like, create wireframes manually in Figma or whatever, and like drag and drop these boxes and lines and type in and fiddle around with like stuff with the mouse all day in a design file. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we can like prototype stuff, but then it's like you're sort of vibe coding and it's not getting what you want. And then I started to check out some content about like you can use Claude to create a JSON sample data set for a new feature or a new product. Start with a JSON sample data set.
Oh yeah, this is a good trick.
Just start with that and then feed that into whatever you want. V0, Claude, Cursor. And like now design a prototype based on this sample data set.
Yeah.
And like it's such a new way to think about taking a concept and designing a prototype that's actually pretty accurate to what you want to build.
Yeah.
And like I'm really excited about this, and like it's a totally new way to think about the early phase of a product, and like that's going to be a series of content coming up,
Yeah.
Just stuff like this just keeps changing. It's so exciting to me, but it's also like so fast.
Well, talking about that makes me think. I think we're going to go back. We're going to go the concept of dynamic content, like content that is constantly being updated, is going to also be a way bigger thing. So instead of just having like, oh, here's the book I published on, like marketing for developers. Here's the book. It's published. It's a PDF. It's a paper book that you buy. I think this idea of like, hey, now we got to dynamically update content way faster. It's got to be live. It's got to be what's new today. And, that kind of brings me into this thing I wanted to talk about, which is like building this marketing site with V0.
Yeah. Very
interesting experiment. And I think it kind of goes to this thought of like dynamic content. Like now, can we make changes like really way quicker? Can we go from, oh, this needs to be updated to updated? Even now, like, we just had our Thursday transistor team meeting. And a lot of what we talk about is, oh, this support doc is out of date. We should update that. This marketing page is out of date. We should update that. This feature copy is out of date. We should update that. And then that becomes a to-do. And then, eventually we do it. And then we put it up on staging, or then we just say, does this look okay? And then we deploy. Like it's a fairly long cycle, even though we're 1,000 times faster than a lot of other organizations. Mm-hmm. But you can see where it's going to get even faster. Oh, and I mean, I think that was my interest in trying out V0 for this marketing project. So I'm helping out this film director who's built he's done a film on the podcast, history of podcasting, called The Age of Audio. And basically the film is about to go to distribution, and I'm going to help him get the word out. I'm going to help him build up his email list, going to help him get some more sponsors.
Nice.
And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna build this marketing site with V0, go out and look at a bunch of other documentary websites and see what I like and I don't like. By the way, most websites are so terrible. It's incredible. Yeah. And
wait, so that looks really cool. For those who aren't watching right now, you just sort of scrolled through this site. For this film called Age of Audio, like black background. We've got some like logos. We've got some feature people in there.
Yeah.
Like the layout looks super professional. Looks pretty dynamic.
Yeah.
How long? And you're showing it in V0.
Yeah.
So from first prompt to what you're showing there, how long?
I mean, I've been working on this a few days, but I would say it's probably maybe actually, I don't know. And there's some things that took longer. Like I have this one part of the website where I feature a bunch of people who are in the film, but I manually went through the film and took these screenshots of like their faces so I could use actual like photos from the film in this feature section. So that took me a long time. But in terms of like actual design work, like building this, it's a couple hours maybe, like not very long. And some parts were very frustrating. For example, I initially said, he has all these people who are in the film, like Mark Maron, Kevin Smith, Ira Glass, Fred Armisen, Kara Swisher, Rowan Mars. I was like, okay, here's all these people in the film. I want you to go out, find their profile images on the web, and then just put them in this site. It said, well, we can't do that because those images are copyrighted. So what we'll do instead is generate AI avatars for each of these people,
right,
which were terrible. So I said, no. Okay, I'm going to go get these screenshots and update it. And I gave it file names with each of the people's names. And I said, take the file name, match it up with the person, and then put that profile image for, they're associated with their name. It worked perfectly for 90% of the people. And then 10%, it just stubbornly kept the AI version of the person. And I could not get it to replace it.
I feel like that kind of thing feels like a V0 like shortcoming, and I feel like if you were to do that in Claude Code with like Sonnet 4.5, like I feel like it would have nailed. Like
that's what I want to try next. Yeah. I mean, it was still a very interesting experience. And I think along with the dynamic kind of nature of this, I like the ability of eventually I could see a marketing website just living on the web, but with a model constantly running, a little buddy, little AI agent and I just tell the AI agent, listen, I want you to constantly dynamically update this website based on the, what's happening in SEO, what's happening in the world, what's happening in terms of how people are talking about us on Reddit. And maybe all I'm getting all day is in Slack, this little AI bot is saying, hey, we think that we should change the headline on this page based on some trends we're seeing. Do you want to do that? Yes or no? And I just reply, yes, no in Slack. And then it just goes out, builds the new version, gives me a staging link. Does this look okay? Yes. Should I deploy? Yes. And then it just, deploys the changes. I
do think that CMSs could be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
In the very near future.
I'm sure people are building the AI marketing CMS or whatever. I'm sure there's 20 startups doing this. But
yeah. But you could definitely see I could see where the friction would still be for the only reason I ever implemented something like Statamic or WordPress back in the day on my sites would be if I was going to hire other marketers or other writers or VAs to make edits on the marketing site. If it's just me and it's just solo, I don't need a CMS. It's easier for me to just change the HTML.
Yeah.
But that's when I would have reached for Statamic or something like that. And so if I think about teams who have marketers or, assistants or interns going in there and posting blog posts or changing headlines and stuff,
Yeah.
do they need a WordPress or a Statamic anymore? And I think probably the answer is still yes, but the only reason for that is probably like the Git workflow and like the pushing changes live workflow.
Yeah.
That is still a little technical to it's easy enough to prompt any like even if it's like cursor or something like prompt say I want to change the H1 to some new text. Like that's pretty easy enough for anyone to do.
Yeah.
But if you're really non-technical, to then commit that, create a pull request, check it on staging, and then deploy it to production, you still need to know those mechanics.
Yeah.
And I do think that professional marketers are going to need those mechanics in their tool belt, even if they're non-technical, like that, or either that or the whole thing needs to become even easier than it is today for technical folks.
Yeah. Yeah. And it feels like we're on.
Or I should say, you can have Claude do that for you. You can say, just commit this and push it live, and it will.
Yeah.
But for a large company with a high level of traffic, you can't just let a marketer do that.
Yeah. You'd want to test things out. It does feel like this is we're in an age, I think of Right Message, Brennan Dunn's thing. Mm-hmm. And the hard thing about Right Message is you had to, so the idea was personalize your website, right? So you can, based on where people are coming from, you create new content. So if you notice that they're coming from Facebook, you can give them content there, or you can show a little survey and say, are you a manager or a developer? And then you could dynamically change the content on a website. But it required a lot of heavy lifting on your own. You had to manually create all this stuff. I think now, something I would love today is, you've got your analytics and all of a sudden it could be holy crap, you're getting tons of more new traffic from Product Hunt or from Bluesky or from Hacker News. And it creates a little alert saying, hey, we've noticed we're just getting an influx of traffic from Hacker News. Would you like to publish a banner on that page? And then it could just automatically go, hey, we see you're from Hacker News, welcome Hacker News or whatever. Here's a special coupon or here's some special content or whatever. These things now could just be, these little AI agents could just be watching your website and especially your analytics for what's happening today. Most of the time I'm looking at analytics and I'm like, oh, I had a bunch more traffic on Friday, October 17th. Okay. That's past now. I can't really deal with it in real time. But in the future, you could see all of a sudden it could be hey, we've noticed something happening in your analytics or out in the world or a trend or everyone's talking about, how this one company messed up and they're looking for people to switch to, or this company is closing down. You should probably act on this right away. And not only does it give you the notice, but then it also says, I've prepared a web page for you. Would you like to deploy it? That will be insane.
On my end, I have a thing on my to-do list this month. I want to set this up and I also want to create a video about it, which is you can, and we should have exactly that for the tech stack.
Yeah.
Right. I have I have Honey Badger installed, tracking bugs.
Yeah.
Tracking errors on production.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Every time there's an error, it should file a GitHub issue.
Yeah.
And then that should automatically fire off an agent to go fix that issue. And I should just wake up in the morning and see a PR that I can merge.
Yeah. That would,
that's absolutely possible today. I just need to set it up.
It's just the glue. This is what's kind of exciting about this stage is it does feel it feels similar to that whole API boom where it was there's this big API boom and it was okay, we've got all this functionality in apps that's now exposed to the world, but you need to be a developer to figure it out. And then Zapier came along and said, oh yeah, look at all these APIs. Let's just link these all up. and connect it so that, this all works. And now, that they're worth billions of dollars. It feels like a similar moment where there's all this stuff you can do with AI and agents and things, but it's the glue's not there, right? Like Honey Badger doesn't do that right now, but it could. And it's both exciting and overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming. I know, like, literally all people are overwhelmed with it right now. I feel like we're as a society, especially as an industry, but even larger than that, like non-technical people too. There's so much to grapple with around, like, this is going to change so much, and everyone feels behind. And like one thing, just like to take it back to zero back into ground level for us here, like, I'm constantly thinking right now about how is my workflow changing. It's changing so much. Literally less than 12 months ago, it looked completely different. How I create anything looked completely different than it does today. And I've been doing this 20 years, but it's changed in the last 12 months. The big thing for me right now is that, like, I'm noticing the way that I write content, the way that I create written content, and that includes, like, scripts that I might write for videos. I've really started to lean in and adopt like AI as my assistant in that creative process. And I do think that a lot of people misrepresent or misunderstand the value of using AI in that sort of creative process. Like, it's absolutely true. If you ask AI to create a killer blog post or create a killer video script for you from nothing, it's going to give you crap. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be usable. Yeah. But if you give it your idea, like the thing that you see in the world, have it create a draft off of that, have it trained on your voice, then go through it 6-7 times with the AI and change things and edit it down, then you get to something great. And I think that's even better than if you had written it word by word yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so like now, like, that is how I write. I almost can't write, like word for word, like, at least I just don't want to. I want to get my idea out concisely and clearly, and I use Claude for that. Yeah. But I haven't fully even embraced that same mindset in my development process. Yes, I'm using Claude Code and Cursor pretty heavily. I would say probably even heavier than most. Yeah. But I still think I should be ripping it apart even more. Like, I'm still holding on to the idea of, like, but I need a wireframe, or I need a spec, or I need to spend days hashing out all of the nuances of what the data model for this new feature should be. Yeah. When in reality, I should be thinking more like, let's just have Claude. Let's fire up 3 instances of Claude to build the same feature all at the same time. See which one builds it the best, and then let's run with it from there.
And then just see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we really need to be thinking a little bit outside the box. Like, challenge your assumptions. Yeah. It is changing. What it means to be creative is changing. Our value in the chain as humans is changing a lot. Yeah. It's.
I mean, here's the crazy part, and this goes into your next topic. Is we got an email to the panel email address. By the way, you can email us. The email is in the show notes.
I'm still surprised when, like, people tell me that they listen to the podcast. Like, I know that our crew here who's in the live chat, like, I could literally see you here. You're live. You're awesome. Yeah. Right. Yeah. We know they're here. Like, other people, like other friends and stuff. Yeah. You're like, yeah, I know what you're working on. I listen to the pod. I'm like, oh, you do? All right, cool.
I mean, that's the beauty of it. But here's the questions. Corey Stone is saying, I've been wondering, if I want to pay for only one AI service and at least minimize the number I'm paying for, which should I choose? For example, I like Claude and Perplexity, but ChatGPT seems to include more functionality. And Nano Banana is the best image gen I've seen, so maybe I buy Gemini? Ugh. So here's the other thing. It's like, things are changing. Everyone's trying to stay on top of things. We're trying to be open-minded. And you had this thing about brand loyalty, and we used the example of Claude versus ChatGPT, etc.
Yeah, I do want to get your take on it. Like, how do you think about all the big brands that you've been loyal to for a long
Yeah.
time, and how we define that now? But I guess to answer that question directly, I have a $20 a month subscription to. I think I'm on like the $20 a month plan on OpenAI and ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. I do pay $20 a month for Cursor, and I pay $100 a month for Claude.
Yeah.
I don't think I pay for anything else.
I mean,
right now.
it is getting, it's getting expensive, quote unquote, but for me, I've always felt like this is worth what I'm getting out of it. If I
Totally.
feel like I'm not getting value out of something, then I'll cancel it. So
I am like, and on that question, I am also I think I'll probably stick with my level on Claude, but like I might start paying a lot more for Cursor pretty soon.
yeah, and I mean, for me, I pay for ChatGPT. I think if you're going to choose one, ChatGPT is just in terms of doing a bunch of things well. It's great at image generation. It's good at writing. It's good at research. It's pretty good at code. If you want just one general tool and you only want to pay for one, I personally think ChatGPT is incredible value. So you get Sora and video generation and all that stuff too. So
I don't know how you think about it, but I'm starting to, and I think that the brands themselves, the companies themselves are leaning into this positioning. For me, it's like Claude is for work. Mm-hmm. Oh, ChatGPT is for personal. And I do use, but I do, some work stuff blends into my ChatGPT usage. Mm-hmm. But anything creative, including coding and writing, for me happens in Claude.
yeah,
And I mean, that's like work-related creative stuff, right?
yeah,
In ChatGPT, it's all the personal chats. It's all the fun, like, let's just ask AI what it thinks. I ask ChatGPT that.
Yeah.
I ask it like health questions when
Yeah.
or how to do something. But I also use ChatGPT. I have a project in there called like business strategy. Mm-hmm. And that's like essentially it's my business coach, honestly. I actually use it in that capacity.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think your setup is probably similar to a lot of people. I'm actually similar. ChatGPT I use it for everything, but it's more personal. That's like more personal stuff on that side.
Like we've been driving on road trips, and I'll throw up ChatGPT and I'll have it ask, like, do a trivia game for my kids and us, and like
Yeah.
just keep asking us questions, and
Yeah.
that's what we do on road trips with it, you know.
Yeah, I think I basically always keep ChatGPT and Claude subscriptions going. I use them all day, every day, multiple times. Sometimes I'll put a prompt in one and in the other just to compare the two.
One of the things I'm curious to hear your take on this, because like I noticed as I was listening to Dario Amodei on Cheeky Pint, hour-long conversation, really good one. And I've heard him on a lot of interviews, but this was a really good one. Mm-hmm. I love this podcast, by the way.
It's so good.
So he was really talking about how like one of the interesting metrics was that I might have this wrong, but I think that Anthropic's actual revenue might be higher than OpenAI's or close to it.
So that would be very surprising to me.
Very surprising, but their revenue per customer is so much higher. They have far less customers and less traffic
Oh,
and
interesting.
less users than OpenAI and ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But like Anthropic is positioned for business. Like he spent a lot of time talking about, they have some other product that we don't even see. They have like like Claude for enterprise.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where they're really making all their money.
Yeah.
And he spends a lot of time talking about like, we are selling to enterprise, we are selling to companies, and our whole product strategy is around making Claude the best platform for the types of things that you would do at work.
Yeah.
I mean, they are getting into like health and biomedical. I think all the companies are, but like they're really focused on like making it a work and business focused tool. And
Yeah.
and that's why they're easily getting away with like charging developers $100, $200 a
Yeah.
month, and they're charging companies way more than that, while at the same time you look at OpenAI and ChatGPT, and this is where I get a little bit, this is where ChatGPT and maybe Sam Altman start to turn me off a little bit when I think about brand loyalty. It's like I really gained a lot of respect for Anthropic's ability to focus on that goal and that strategy.
Yeah.
Of like I as a customer of theirs feel like they're building for me. Like they really care about what I care about and what I want out of a Claude.
Yeah.
Whereas when I look at OpenAI right now, like literally right now in 2025, they've got ChatGPT, they've got Sora, they've got this new Atlas browser.
Yeah.
They do seem to try to be getting developers with their GPT-5 stuff and Codex. And Altman is playing like doing some trickery with the company structure and the nonprofit and all that, and they're raising billions and billions of dollars, which of course like all these companies are, but like it seems like they're like grasping at straws. Like, how are we going to make money? Let's throw this at the wall. Let's throw that in the wall.
Yeah.
Whereas Claude seems a little bit more focused. Like, we're for business.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more desperate. Even like they've said in interviews that Sora 2, like the reason they worked on that is they need new revenue models, and also just I think they need new reasons for investors to be excited about it. And so they're just like, all right, this is going to be popular. This is going to be popular. And yeah, that's interesting because they're definitely more of the B2C brand.
Yeah, they're definitely consumer.
And Claude is the one that, like, most of my work stuff is in Claude.
And most people, most like quote unquote normies, like they've never even really heard of Claude. Like, a few of them have on the news, but like my dad maybe just started keying into like what Claude is, probably because I talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
But he's known ChatGPT for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's the consumer, like worldwide brand.
I mean, I think a lot of people are loyal to the version that one thing about switching between different LLMs that sucks is that if one has all of your context, like in Claude, I have here's Justin's writing style project, and it has all of my blog posts and tweets and other things that I care about. And I don't want to set all of that stuff up again, Plus, it has all the additional context. And I noticed that Claude just announced more memory and stuff. So,
that's the big thing. I think for all of them. And this is also the thing where I get a little bit scared of OpenAI is like how much personal information they have about me.
Oh, dude,
like I share my health stuff. I share my personal questions and stuff. Like, but then they literally are integrating their memory of you into things like Sora, into like all the other places. And then now they have a browser, and now they have all these other like third-party apps that's another thing. They're trying to make money with, like, they're trying to become an app store, right? Like they're trying to bring in DoorDash and Airbnb and all these different things to have like built-in integrations. But then does that mean like if I'm gonna call on like OpenTable through ChatGPT, is all my personal memory data being shared with some third-party partner there?
I mean, there's a huge risk there. And I mean, it's even if you try not to put personal stuff in there or, like your company's information in there, it's difficult because the utility is so high.
Right.
And, that's going to be a massive, massive thing. I do think it's interesting. Like right now, I think there's a lot of companies, especially like if you're a company, you're willing to experiment with tons of these different LLMs because the productivity promise is just so appealing. Like, my business partner, John, is starting to get a little bit like worried we're spending too much money on different AI, because every employee now has different tools, and I totally get it. It can get out of hand quick. But on the other hand, I go, man, the increased utility of these things, how fast I can move. I'm getting incredible value, even though I am paying for ChatGPT and Claude, and I'm paying for Grok right now because I'm experimenting with the video stuff.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm paying for V0 and and Suno, and like it just keeps going and going and going. Sure, but like yesterday we released 12 new tracks. Our most popular page on Transistor is a free music download thing. With Suno, you can generate instrumental music that you have the rights to.
That's a great thing for you to do.
Yeah, and so we generated 12 new tracks that we are allowed to distribute that are royalty free. Tons of utility for podcasters. And previously, I was only able to add like 3 a year, partly because we were we were paying a human that was making these songs. And it was just like, I would pay $300 a song to get, exclusive rights to that little bumper or whatever.
That is a whole industry that's going to be killed, if not already. It's like there's a whole industry of musicians and songwriters who just create instrumental music for film and television. I
mean, you can see why Adam Wathan's getting worried. That the whole templated Envato, like Envato's whole marketplace is, here's graphics you can use, here's sounds you can use, here's sound effects you can use, here's templates. That's going away because it's just so much.
Well, I think the templates will be there, just they won't be created by humans.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's interesting to see.
Well, how do you think about it, like historically with other brands? So think about like Google or Apple.
Yeah. I mean, so much of it is what people get used to. It's even interesting how many people our age, so let's say Gen X, millennial, older millennial, I talk to tons of people our age that we over-index for using Apple Music as opposed to Spotify. Well, why is that? Well, when you talk to my daughter and my sons, who are all Gen Z, they remember Spotify releasing the free version and how that spread like wildfire through their high school. And so for that generation, Spotify is established as the brand. They made a big splash for Gen Z high school students, and everybody loves Spotify in that group.
I'd say even for us to I mean, I do use Apple Music, but I feel like I'm in the minority. Most people I know
I can't believe
Spotify.
how many people our age use Apple Music. It's just consistently when I talk to people our age, it's like Spotify, Apple Music, and they're like, Apple Music, The funny thing is I also pay for a Spotify account for work because I have to test stuff out, but I feel like we're an Apple family. And so I will, even though I could stream music in Spotify, I almost always if somebody sends me a recommendation in Spotify, I'll still go over to Apple Music and manually type in the song and then get it in my Apple Music thing.
I do hate Apple Music's interface, and the fact that they still use iTunes, and also the fact they still call it iTunes is kind of ridiculous to me. But I actually have 2 different Apple Music accounts, one for work and one for when I'm driving in the car.
Oh, interesting.
Because I have completely different music tastes. At work, I only want instrumental. I never want lyrics.
I'm surprised more companies have not had more profile stuff. This is my work profile. This is my driving in the car with kids profile. This is my kids are now requesting songs profile.
Yeah, this is the one that's going to have K-pop demon hunters blasting through it.
Yeah. Give me, in the same way that Chrome gives you different profiles, I use that all the time. It's this is my work Chrome profile setup, and here's my personal one,
It is interesting. I just think about this brand loyalty question. So Apple, obviously I've been sort of hooked into their ecosystem for a really long time.
Yeah.
I think lately in the last couple of years, and this is industry wide, but I definitely feel it, is I feel like they dropped the ball with AI. I feel like the latest version of iOS isn't all that great. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to go run out and get an Android phone.
Yeah, you're
like,
not going to
I'm
Omarchi.
just like so tied into the Apple ecosystem.
Come on, dude, Omarchi. That's the new thing, man.
But then with Google, like, we were talking about our data, and I sort of got over the fact a really long time ago. I was like, look, these companies, they just have so much on us. There's no point in even trying to, hold on to any semblance of like privacy anymore.
Yeah.
Like I do all the best practices and stuff. Like I don't share, whatever. Like, but like, I do know that like Google knows so much about me, and I'm not even like a big, like, I've had a Gmail account for forever, so that alone probably gives them so much data on me.
Yeah,
but like I don't have an Android phone or anything, but like I guess what am I asking here, like just about like this idea that like at a certain point, like, I'm a Google person.
Yep.
Or I'm I've had an Amazon Prime account for many years, so it's like I'm just an Amazon person.
I think this is one of the most powerful things in marketing, which is brand affinity. And it's like, why do like 90% of the people in the Laravel ecosystem use Transistor for their technical podcast? There's this brand affinity thing. And what determines that? So much of it is this Seth Godin principle of people like us do things like this. And I've just seen that play out over and over and over again. It's like, and you can sometimes see these cultural shifts. Like, it was like suddenly creators are all upset about MailChimp, and you could see online, like, they're all like, it's almost like everyone's waiting to see where the tribe moves to. And then it was like, oh, Kit, everyone's moving to Kit. Okay, we're all on Kit now. Like, if you're a creator, people like us use Kit, and that's how we choose it. Yep. And there is other dynamics in there. Like, I've been a Kit customer for a long time, and there's other reasons I won't switch, because I'm friends with Nathan, because I have a little bit of pride of being the longest running Kit paid customer. So I don't want
right?
to, yeah, I don't want to give up my
You were number one?
crown. Well, I'm the longest running Kit customer now that's consistently paid.
Interesting.
So there's other emotional reasons that people like certain brands that go beyond this. But yeah, I think there's a lot of dynamics here, all emotional, by the way, that people do not consider
and I do
strongly
think
enough.
that, like, if we could pull this down to like our level, like you're talking about, like with SaaS and other products and stuff, like brand, man, like brand does matter.
It's
a lot
true.
more than people think, and you can't measure it, but like, I do think that it does make things harder when your company doesn't have some version of like people like us do things like this.
Yeah.
Because that's where you see the customers who come in and trial your product for like 1 hour and then they cancel because some button didn't work, and then they just go try the next one.
Yeah.
Or the customer who is going to look at who not even try your product, they're just going to look at your pricing page and see if it has the list of check marks that they want to see compared to the other 5 competitors, and they're going to decide based on that. They don't care if they actually like your product; just does it have these check marks? And like, it's so hard. It's so hard to make a business on that.
I mean, there's pros and cons to this, which is once people have an affinity for your brand, that can last a long time. Like, I think men in particular as consumers are an interesting version of this. Like, I'm a 45-year-old man looking for what jeans I should wear. And I saw Nathan Barry recommended Doer, and then Andrew Wilkinson recommended Doer, and then Daryl Chimko here in the office also recommended Doer. So I'm like, okay, like Doer's the jean brand. And so then now if I buy jeans, it's like almost always going to be Doer jeans. And once
word of mouth, man. Once
that's there,
Yeah.
It's like if I needed a new pair of jeans, I don't want to have to think like there's a trillion denim brands and there's even a trillion more shitty denim brands on advertising on Instagram. Like, just give me the simplicity of knowing I know these fit, I know my sizing, I can just order online, get it shipped, I'm done, you know? But it has the opposite effect too. It's difficult to get that affinity and that commitment, from the customer.
Just to get one person to even recommend your product to someone else, like you got to hit a high bar just to do that.
You can engineer some of that, though. I think we don't ask our existing customers and fans to evangelize enough for us. Like just saying, hey, just so you know, when you talk about our product, like Transistor's a small company. We're 6 people, and we're fighting the biggest Goliaths in the world, YouTube and Spotify and, some giant companies. And it helps us so much when you recommend us to a friend. Thank you for doing that. Like even just prompting people and saying that alone, can help. And I don't think small brands do that enough.
Maybe this gets into the AI housekeeper
thing
a little bit, but this still sort of ties into the brand, or at least getting back into like the OpenAI, Anthropic. Like if you think about the big players in AI right now, I don't know if you think about it this way, but like I think that they are so big, and especially OpenAI, they are trying to be the everything app.
Yeah.
And they're trying to cover so much ground, and they have so much funding behind them, and they're clearly the leader. You can maybe make an argument for Google because they're so well established.
Yeah.
And they have Google.com. So like a lot of the AI that like Amy uses is like, well, that's what showed up when I go to Google.com. So I guess I'm using Gemini. Is that what they call it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but then you see these upstarts still in all these different categories, and when I see something that is like this, like they're trying to take a huge swing with a new with like a category that's like for everyone, like, and so like we saw this is a very ridiculous one, but like what do they call it, like the housekeeper thing.
Oh yeah, you want me to show that this robot housekeeper was the big conversation,
which is like, it's sort of like vaporware, the whole thing. But what I'm saying though is that like I have no faith that like any new upstart is going to be the next ChatGPT at this point. I think the core players are set.
Yeah.
And so like if you're trying to do something so huge with a worldwide market of like every person who needs their dishes done, like I have no faith that that like at some point like the big companies, whether that's going to be like I don't know, like GE or Apple is going to have some device like that at some point, or Tesla is going to make a robot, or like,
I mean, in that sense,
or OpenAI will, like,
it is open in that sense. Like, there's lots of very well-funded companies right now that,
like we saw the AI pin one, which was ridiculous and died out really quickly.
I mean, I think to start a true AI company now as an upstart, you would need funding, but Suno, is an interesting AI company that has its own take on things. And, they are now the established, AI for making music. I think you could have an upstart in that sense.
I guess so. Yeah. But even that's a little bit more niche than what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah.
Let's see. It's like there was OpenAI just acquired this other one, I think called Sky.
Okay.
And I think Sky was supposed to be some sort of like software app that you install on your Mac, and it just watches everything you do on your whole computer at all times.
Okay.
And it's sort of just like an AI that's like available to you at all times. Right?
Yeah.
And like OpenAI was like, yeah, that's something that we're trying to do, so we're just going to buy you.
Yeah.
Like things like that are just so generic and so big that it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like for me as a consumer, like I don't have a lot of faith in like, well, I should get on board with this because like at some point it's just going to be acquired. You know,
I mean, the way that there could be other competitive brands that come out is things like, these lower cost models that were coming out of China, and there may be other ways. I mean, this is what's so crazy is we don't know how this is going to develop. Like my 20-year-old son is still convinced that this whole AI bubble is going to burst. Like he thinks it's going to continue to be a thing, but there's all this money pouring into it. We don't know, like we know the revenue numbers are high for these companies, but we don't know how much money they're losing. And things can happen. Like markets can shift, and all of a sudden things can happen. You know.
I mean, I think he's probably right. I think we probably are in a bubble, and I think it is going to burst. That doesn't mean that AI is going to go away, though, because there was an internet bubble, right? And all the companies went away except for a few.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think that's probably what's going to happen here. Is like, OpenAI and Anthropic are not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but like, kind of everyone else, it's like we'll see. You know.
I mean. In terms of like how like bringing it back to independence and brands, I do think this is going to be an interesting time for small, like bootstrapped companies. I think there's still tons of opportunity in green space for small little indies to create brand affinity, to become a brand that people choose. And we do have some of these levers at our disposal that are still very effective, like building in public and sharing your journey, sharing your story, giving people
and I do think that's more important now than it was even last year. Like people want, like that's what, not only what works, but like people are hungry for human connection.
Human connection. And then there's always the opportunity, and this is that last thing I wanted to talk about, to play the counter melody or sing the counter melody. This Derek Sivers blog post, it just should be required reading. The idea is that, everybody might be over here doing something. And you see this all the time. Like everybody's rushing to create, in YouTube land, everybody's rushing to create Mr. Beast like content. He is the prototype. Everybody is just trying to be Mr. Beast. But then there's folks that are playing the counter melody, like this World by Charlie. I don't know if you've seen these clips, but it's like a very kind of Blues Clues, Mr. Rogers, like narrating, here's how they make buns at the bakery. And he is totally playing the counter melody to Mr. Beast. He's the anti Mr. Beast. And these on TikTok and Instagram, these things have blown up. Like he's getting tons and tons of traction, being the calm alternative to kind of the manic energy we're seeing everywhere else. And I think this is the opportunity for small little independents like you and I and everybody listening. Play the counter melody. Now, it doesn't always work. It's not always going to be, the counter melody doesn't always get traction. But when you notice, for example, like people are exhausted by Mr. Beast. It's like you see a Mr. Beast thing. It's like, oh my God, like it's going to be over the top. It's going to be all like, I just need some calm in my life.
I mean, I think it really just comes down to like have an opinion. Like, what do you actually think?
Yeah.
That's the thing, because there's so many copycats. Forever there's been human copycats, like let's just make another video that just like Mr. Beast does. And now you see AI copycats. Like that's what happens when you try to ask AI to like make me a YouTube script that matches the top performing YouTube videos. Like it's gonna be crap.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to this is a really good podcast, Plain English.
Okay.
With what's the guy's name?
Derek Thompson.
It's yes, part of the Ringer network. He covers a wide range of topics and does these sort of deep dives on them. And like today he had Michael Lewis on as a guest.
Yeah.
And he asked him, he was like, what do you think of AI in general? Like, do you see it as a threat? What's going on? Like, are you writing a book about AI? And he said like, no, I don't really see anything interesting right now, like that, like because he was talking about like I look for things that nobody's talking about, that nobody can even notice.
Yeah.
You know, and he was like, I'm not really that worried about AI, or like Michael Lewis is saying, like he's not threatened by AI taking his position away as an author, because he was like, AI can't do what I do. He was like, it cannot do what I do. Like, yes, it could write words. It could even write words in the style of Michael Lewis. But but he was like, essentially what I do is I go find the most interesting characters and the most interesting stories that nobody has ever noticed in the world.
Yes.
Like when he's talking about how he wrote like The Big Short, like he was like, there's no possible way that AI could have found the exact characters that he found and their exact worldview and the book that came out of that.
Yeah. I think that, by the way, that is a way of articulating what business people need to do. Is we need to notice things that are happening in the world, but nobody's really paying attention yet. Like that's kind of what you do. I mean, there was a version of this with Transistor, is that I had just noticed a shift myself, even amongst my friends, where it's like way more people were starting podcasts, way more people were listening to podcasts. Like before, I never heard friends talking about listening to podcasts. And all of a sudden, a lot of people were listening to Serial, and then they were discovering other shows. And I'm like, man, something is happening here. And I spoke at MicroConf about it, like right at the beginning of Transistor, where I was like, listen, the reason I personally wanted to pursue this was I just felt all of this stuff happening that was still kind of under the surface, that it hadn't really erupted into the public consciousness yet. And that turned out that the timing was good. I think this is what we do. We're paying attention to this simmering, latent sentiment and things that are happening, and going, that's interesting. The one I posted in the Builder Methods Discord the other day was Arvid Kahl saying, man, like as a developer now, I have all these 5 to 10 minute breaks when I'm getting AI to run stuff. What do I do with that time?
Yeah, what do we do with it?
I mean,
it's a great question.
That is a tectonic shift in the way that people are working, and we don't have a solution for that. So what is going to fill that time? Is it going to be people browsing TikTok? Are people going to be like, are managers going to start saying like, no, we need to use that time this way? Or, what's going to happen? That
is, and I replied to him, that is such an interesting question too. It's like, because like literally like every day now I have Claude go off and build something, and then I start to work on the next project, or I break for dinner, or I go to bed, and then I wake up in the morning and it's done.
Yeah.
And
as entrepreneurs and bootstrappers or whatever, our job is to, number one, get better at noticing these things, and then number two, get curious about them. Like try to unearth a little bit more around it and go, I wonder if there's something there. Like, let's play out a few scenarios in my head.
That's my game right now with YouTube, is that like I can't just like generate ideas. I can't use AI to generate ideas. I can't even plan ideas much further out than like next week.
Yeah.
And also like when I have my next idea, it takes me a week or two to just think about it, like in the shower, or mull it over for 2 weeks before I'm ready to make a video on it. Yeah. Because like I need to figure out like, what do I think about this? Like, what's my opinion on this? I know it's a thing. I know it's new. Yeah. I know it's interesting in general. I know there's a lot of traffic to it. But I just posted a video today. Like my video that dropped today is on the new Claude skills feature.
Okay. Yeah.
And this was like brand new, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago now. And what always happens in my space, Claude drops a big new feature. There's going to be 10 videos that drop on YouTube that day or the next day. Yeah. And they're all going to have the vibe of like, oh my God, Claude just dropped this new feature called skills. This changes everything. This is like so great. Like this is so much better than whatever it was before. Yeah. And like, I have sort of felt that way about some features. Like I thought that like sub agents were a pretty big deal when they dropped. I started playing around with skills, and I started to think about it and look at the ins and outs of it, and I'm like, I don't think this is very useful for, like, I could see how it's useful for consumers, and maybe it'll catch on there, but like for developers in the workflow, like I don't really see it. And it's like that's what I ended up making the video about, was like here's how they work, but I'm still struggling to see where they fit in the workflow, and like maybe they're not really a thing. Like
And
I don't know, like it's,
that is the way that you build a brand. And that's the counter melody, is if everybody else is like this kind of hectic, like, you won't believe what just dropped. And then it's like, oh no, Brian's brand is the calm, thoughtful, not in a rush. Like, of course he's going to get it out in a timely manner, but it's okay if he waits a week and thinks about it. And then he releases a video going, hey friends, and they're basically looking at you like, okay, I'm going to wait to see what Brian has to say about this. Like, I know he's going to think about it. I know he's going to release it. And then you get to be in the place. I mean, Basecamp.
It's a struggle too, because like I get it, like because like it's literally like sometimes it is like leaving viewers and subscribers on the table.
Yeah.
But I'm really trying to not be like, I don't want my job to be dependent on like running to the video camera as soon as a news drops. Like I can't live that way. You know, I have to just be calm with it. You know?
Yeah, and so part of this is going to be your own values and things, but I think this is what's great is, 37 Signals has made a whole career out of playing the counter melody.
Yeah.
And they have been able to, again, counter melody on its own, just because you're opposing something doesn't mean it's going to work or it's going to make money or it's going to be successful. But there is some advantage in it from both a product and marketing point of view and a process point of view. Like part of their counter melody is they have a bunch of small product teams of 2 people, a designer and a developer. And that's how they work. And that has afforded them all sorts of pros, like all sorts of advantages that other companies don't have. And they've been able to play that into an advantage. That's their counter melody. It works for them. We need to keep finding these things that matter. And again, it always has to resonate with customers in a way, but there's lots of counter melodies that will resonate with people that you can build a great business on if you're, exploring them.
For sure, man.
All right.
Is that the ending note right there?
I think we did it.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. Good to see everybody in chat. We had Emmett and Pascal came by. Pascal has this recurring joke where he comes in and he goes...
like 5 minutes before we wrap.
Whatever we've been talking about, he goes, is this the discussion group for fans of blank? So it was like, is this the discussion group for the fans of Derek Sivers? Every single time.
You're in the right place today.
It's a good bit. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Later, folks.